The Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
Are you craving for that special meal that will entice your taste buds and leave you with lasting thrilling memories? Look no further. Spice Island Bulenga has got your answer. Natural, fresh and delicious juice, the best meals. Don't miss our daily specials from Monday to Sunday. Pizza Wednesday, Saturday Pizza Bonanza, you buy one and take two. Come dine with us and feel the experience. We are located at Prime Shopping Center in Bulenga, Mitiana Road. For inquiries, call us on 0704111720. Spice Island, we treat your cravings. Looking for a pair of shoes? Let's Up Stores has a wide range of selection for unisex footwear. We have the best quality of all brands at pocket-friendly prices, and we make deliveries countrywide. Just place your order or reach us on 0772 080090. You can also check up at Let's Up Stores on all our social media platforms. Let's Up, craft your own footprints.
The Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
Edakika ziri nnya ze zakayita ku ssaawa ebbiri ez'okumakya nnyo wano ku Digital TV. Tuli mu mwezi gwa kubiri nnaku z'omwezi 21 omwaka 2023. Mwenna gye muli ate gye musinzidde okuba nga mutulaba enkya y'olunaku olwaleero tubaaniriza nnyo wano mu mugazi Digital TV. Digital TV mukutu ogusangibwa ku social media platforms naddala ku Facebook ne ku YouTube tubeerawo nnyo nga tubaweereza. Era twagala okubaanirizaako enkya y'olunaku luno olwaleero. Olunaku luno lwakubiri akasana katandise okuba nga keememula ak'ennaku zino mu Uganda. Naawe gy'oli kyemanyi okawulira ennaku zino it is as hot as 28 degrees oluusi tuba tuyinga ne degrees 30. Naye eyo y'enkyukakyuka y'obudde gye bakugamba climate change is actually real. So baba bakugamba okole buli kimu ky'oba osobola okukola okuba nga otangira obudde okubanga protecting climate change yo oba climate obeera oli w'amaanyi nnyo oba kino oba olina okuba nga okitwala nga kya mugaso nnyo. Naye twagala okubaanirizaako nnyo eno show bagiyita Mighty Drive ebeerawo buli lunaku lwa Monday paka ku lunaku olwokutaano okuva ku ssaawa 2 ez'okumakya paka ku ssaawa 4. Tubeerawo wano nga tunyumyamu emboozi naawe nga tukunyumiza biki ebiba bibadde gy'oli oba gy'oba tobadde mu ggwanga Uganda ne wabweru w'eggwanga. Mu mawulire ge tulina olunaku olwaleero, gavumenti etandise okuba ng'esala ku expenditure yaayo oba ku ngeri gye badde esaasaanyamu ensimbi z'omuwi w'omusolo. Oluusi abamu badde bagamba nti gavumenti ebadde ediibuddaako ku nsimbi zino, naye etandise okuba ng'ekikola. Permanent Secretary wa Ministry of Finance Ramadhan Ngobi yabadde overseeing embeera eno ey'okuba nga ebintu ebimu ebya luxury oba ebyokuba nga tweragalaga ebyo ebintu tulina okuba nga tubikomya. Wali mu Ghana omulambo gw'omwami eyali omusambi waabwe Christian Atsu yatuvudde ku maaso omwaka guno gwennyini. Yafiira wali mu njega eyali mu Turkey oba earthquake eyali mu Turkey, naye omulambo gwe gwaziddwa ewaka era abeewe bajja kubanga nabo abamuziika mu mirembe mu mbeera eyo. Era ne President wa America yabaddeko mu kibuga kya Kiev mu ggwanga erya Ukraine. Kiki kye yayogeddeko byonna tugenda kuba tubiraba olunaku luno olwaleero. Tutuleko ne ku mipiira gya Premier League egigenda mu maaso. Premier League egenda kuba yawummuddemu in fact tugenda kuba ne Carabao final ku weekend eno ne Champions League gyali olunaku luno olwaleero n'olunaku olw'enkya ne Europa League ejja kubeera ku lunaku olwokuna. Tugenda kuba byonna tubiyisaamu amaaso olunaku luno olwaleero. So tulya ddala okkalire tube nga tukuweereza. Nze Edgar Matthew Karuhanga ngenda kuba nga nyumyamu nawe paka ku ssaawa zigenda kubeera 4 ez'okumakya. Tusuubira omwami Rogers tulyahabwe okuba nga twegattako olunaku luno olwaleero, era tugenda kuba tunyumya mu mbeera nnyingi ezigenda mu maaso mu ggwanga. Biki ebigenda mu maaso nangeri ki gye tusobola okuba nga tubikyusaamu. Sindika message zo wano ku Facebook yaffe tuli at The Alternative Uganda, eyo Facebook at The Alternative Uganda, ne ku YouTube osobola tusangayo at Digitalk TV still ku Facebook gyetiri, era at Digitalk TV ne ku YouTube osobola okuba nga otusangayo awo wennyini n'onyumyamu naffe mu mbeera eyo. Ono omukutu kuno tukuweereza shows ez'enjawulo yadde akatwegattako. Tulina shows ez'enjawulo. Ku Monday wabeerayo shows Mighty Drive gyeri, then akawungezi the hotline naye ebeerayo ku lunaku olwokubiri. Mighty Drive ebeerawo, ate Catch nayo weeri awo ku ssaawa 5 zennyini. Ku Wednesday tubeera ne Mighty Drive, tubeera ne shows ez'enjawulo nnyingi, era osobola okuba nga obeerako buli lunaku tujja kuba nga tukuweereza mu mbeera eyo yennyini. So ndooza kantandikire wano wennyini mu ggwanga. Tutandike ne graduation yabaddeyo wiiki ewedde. Ndooza mwagitegedde Makerere yadde graduating abaana, that was Makerere at 73. Abaana bangi abasobodde okuba nga baexcellinga mu misomo gyabwe. Challenge ekyaliwo abaana abasoma naye emirimu gy'okubawa tegirabika. Jjukira abaana 79 ku buli 100 baana bali wakati w'emyaka 18 paka emyaka 30. Ekikutegeeza nti nno bano abasinga bavubuka. So buli wafuluma mu masomero gano oba mu masettendekero gano ag'enjawulo, ekizibu ekibeerawo deficit ebeerawo nti n'emirimu egy'okukola gitera okuba nga gibabula. Naye katusuubire ndowooza gavumenti erina kyesobola okuba nga ekola okuba nga ekendeeza embeera eno. Unemployment rate eri waggulu, unproductivity naye eri waggulu. Abaana abasinga emyaka gyabwe gy'obuvubuka bagiyiseemu bwe batyo naye nga tebalina kye bagikozeemu. Ndowooza gavumenti etunule ku nsonga eno tulabe engeri gye tusobola okuba nga tugikyusaamu. Nga tuvudde ku abaana abagraduatinze mwenna congratulations. Tugendeko era wano mu ggwanga wali Entebbe ku ddwaliro lya Grade B hospital eri Makerere waliwo medical intern. According to Mr. Luke Owesigire, omwami ono ayogerera poliisi mu Kampala n'emiriraano, yakakasizza nti nno waliwo medical intern yakwatiddwa olunaku lwabadde lw'eggulu nga abagamba ono bamutaddeko omusango gwa kukwata patient we oba ku musango gwa buliisa maanyi. Yarepinze patient we medical intern ate yagezezaako okuba nga arepinga abapatient abalala. Ono naabadde akikola atya? Abadde abadraginga ng'akozesa chloroform wamala n'akola emirimu gye. According to Luke Owesigire, omwami ono bagenda kuba nga bamuggulako emisango gya rape then okugezaako okuba nga arepinga omukyalo oyo medical intern gwe mulaba awo already bamaze dda okuba nga bamusiba. According to the spokesperson of the Uganda Police, Kampala Metropolitan Police, omwami Luke Owesigire, medical intern ono abadde agezaako okuba nga akola ogw'obuliisa maanyi ate in fact yaliisiza amaanyi mu mbeera eyo yennyini. So byampuna naye bwe bityo ebiri. Ndowooza mbeere more careful according to Luke Owesigire. Abantu naddala bagenda mu malwaliro gano ag'enjawulo, let's be more careful okuba nga weewonya embeera zino okuba nga zikutuukako. Dakiika ziri 10 ze zakayita ku ssaawa 2 ez'okumakya. Tuvuddeko kaawo katugendeko wabweru w'eggwanga. Christian Atsu, omwami ono yafiira mu eri earthquake yali mu ggwanga liri erya Turkey. Omwami yali asambira Konyaspo. Oyo omulambo gwe gwamaze dda okuba nga oguddizibwa ku butaka wali e Ghana. Omwami ono asambiddeko ttiimu ez'enjawulo mu capacities ez'enjawulo, naddala wali mu Bungereza yasambirayoko Christian Atsu, n'eggwanga erya Ghana eryabadde alisambira New Jersey number 7. Omwami oyo yafiira mu njega eyaliwo. Ndowooza mujjukira omusisi eyayita mu ggwanga lirya Turkey n'eggwanga erya Syria eyatwala abantu abakunukiriza 300. Omwami ono Christian Atsu yali mu mbeera ya nnaku nnyo, era Premier League teams ez'enjawulo ziraze okunyolwa eri okufa kw'omwami ono, era bagamba bajja kuba nga tebamwerabira omwami Christian Atsu. Christian Atsu yazaalibwa mu mwaka gwa 1992 era afiiridde ku mwaka gwa 2023. Ekitegeeza afiiridde ku myaka gibadde 31 egy'obuto. omwami oyo Christian Atsu bagenda kubanga bamu werekera abantu be wali mu Ghana era katusabe mukama omwoyo gwe agulamuze ekisa. Christian Atsu ono yazanyirako ttiimu eya Newcastle United, ndoza mujjukira yasambirako ne ku ttiimu awo ya Bournemouth, yasambirako ku ttiimu ya Chelsea era abadde katika kyajjajje wali mu ttiimu eya Konya Sport mu ggwanga erya Turkey gy'abadde akyanga omupiira gwe ogw'ensimbi. Oyo no Christian Atsu musajja abadde musajja mufirika, yasamba World Cup, asambiza AFCON zonna era yawangulako AFCON n'eggwanga erya Ghana. So kyannaku nnyo omusajja abadde akyanga bulungi omupiira. Christian Atsu, may his soul rest in eternal peace. Yafiiridde wali mu ggwanga erya Turkey. Oyo gwe bayita Christian Atsu era katumusabire ndoza omwoyo gwe mukama agulamuze kisa. Nga tuvuddeko kaawo US President Joe Biden ali mu kibuga ekya Kiev era yakozeko ka surprise visit yadde akasuubira kubanga kabeerawo naye yagenzeko wali mu ggwanga erya Kiev okubanga alaba ku President Volodymyr Zelensky. Jjukira abatamanyi ki ekigenda maaso mu ggwanga eryo, Russia ya invadinga Ukraine omwaka ogwedde nga gutandika, in fact mwaka 2021 nga atandikawo wewatyo basajja bano baba invadinga aba Russia nga ba invadinga Ukraine. Mu mbeera eyo okulwana kubadde kukyagenda mu maaso mu bitundu ebyenjawulo mu Ukraine. Ndoza mujjukira mu Donbass waliyo okulwana mu bifo ebyenjawulo, Mariupol, ebibuga byonna ne mu Kiev mennyini badde bagezaako okubanga bagirumba mu mbeera eyo. So ekigenda mu maaso omwami President Joe Biden, oyo no President of the United States, yabaddeko mu kibuga ekya Ukraine ng'ayogerako n'omwami Volodymyr Zelensky. Volodymyr Zelensky mu bintu byadde asinga okubanga asaba Europe ne America byebyokulwanyisa ebyenjawulo okubanga asobola okubanga alwana omwami ono gwe bayita Russia bayita Vladimir Putin mu mbeera eyo. So otwogerera nga bakyali mu kwogereramu n'omwami Joe Biden balabe engeri gye basobola okubanga bayamba. Mujjukira America ebadde y'amaanyi nnyo mu kuyamba abantu bano aba eggwanga lino erya Ukraine okuva ebalumbibwa basajja aba Russia. Vladimir Putin ndoza mujjukira we yeesuula mu akairigombe mu mbeera bwetyo. Yo Russia mu retaliation ndoza badde mulaba Minister of Foreign Affairs w'eggwanga lino erya Russia ng'agenda atambula amawanga ag'enjawulo naddala wano ku Africa ng'agezaako okuba ng'afuna ku makanda amapya. Ajjukira ensi yonna ebadde yakyukira eggwanga lino erya Russia. Ndoza eggwanga lyokka eritakyukira Russia mwalimu ndoza yali Somalia na China naye yefuula atakirinako buzibu. Amawanga matono nnyo, I think ne Eritrea mweriawo amawanga agaali tegakondemminga invasion ya Russia eno. Amawanga nga Uganda n'amawanga amalala ga Africa agasinga go ga abstaininga negeewala embeera eno ey'okubanga gatwala side mu lutalo luno lwa Russia ne Ukraine. So nga Russia egezaako okubanga yeetereza ekifaananyi kyayo mu nsi yonna, ye Joe Biden ali wali mu ggwanga lino erya Ukraine okubanga bateesa n'omwami Zelensky Volodymyr, president w'eggwanga lino erya Ukraine, mu mbeera ki gye basobola okubanga olutalo luno balulwanamu ate ne basobola okubanga baluggusa. Olutalo nno kati luyingidde omwaka ogusookera lugenda yingira mwaka gwa kubiri okuva lwe lwabalukawo wali mu ggwanga erya Ukraine. Ndoza era nga tuvuddeko kaawo twogereko ku gavumenti esaze expenditure naye tugenda kuba nga tugitottola nnyo emboozi eyo eya Uganda. Ndoza twogerera nga ye permanent secretary Ramadhan Ngobe agamba Uganda ndoza savings ku buwumbi obukunukiriza mu 18 108.5 billion okuva eba ajjawo ebintu sente z'okutravelinga oba ez'okubanga ofulumako wabweru w'eggwanga, then non-essential products omuli amamotoka bagamba tebagenda kudda mu kubanga bateekamu sente ezakyeyonoonero oba ez'okudiibuuda. Uganda ebadde emanyikiddwa nnyo okubanga ediibuuda ebintu byayo era byebizibu bye tulina ebyebimu wali ku Hoima International Airport. Ndoza mukimanyi nti Uganda eri kuzimba International Airport ey'okubiri naye ebyo ebizibu byennyini emirimu otwogera nga tekikyagenda maaso wali Hoima International Airport ng'abantu bagamba ensimbi tezikyalabika ate waliwo mafia. Ndoza nadde naba state minister olunaku lw'eggulo ng'agamba nti waliwo bamafia abagezaako okuba nga overpricinga obanga baseera nnyo ebintu by'okuba nga bakozesa okuba nga bazimba wali Hoima International Airport. So mu mbeera bw'etyo ndowooza tulina okuba nga tulaba ku ngeri gye tusobola okuba nga tukendeezaamu ensimbi zaffe oba engeri gye tusaasaanyaamu ensimbi ng'eggwanga. Kino Matiya Kasaija abe nga akitunuuliramu mu mbeera bw'etyo. Naye era kirungi kuba tulaba Ramadan ng'obyasazeeko twakasevinga ndowooza billions 18 ziba ssente nnyingi, ziba zirina ebingi bye zisobola okuba nga zikola wano mu ggwanga lya Uganda. Ndowooza katuveeko kaawo tugendeko mu byemizannyo kuba ndaba akadde kantwala kantindiggwa. Tugendeko ku Premier League wali mu ggwanga erya Bungereza. Premier League natuuse wanyumira ennyo abamu abanyumirwa Premier League ndowooza musobola okubearinga witness nti essaawa eziti omupiira guba gukunyumira nnyo. Premier League abanyuma nnyo because competition eri waggulu nnyo. Bwe twogeranga ttiimu eya Arsenal Uganda gye batuumye enjovu neekyaliyo top of the table emipiira 23 erina points 54 bakyakulembedde Premier League eno. Manchester City ali mu kyakubiri ayina emipiira 24 ayina points 52. Manchester United ye ayina points 49 mu mipiira 24. Then ne Tottenham yali mu kyokuna ziri points 42. Newcastle ali mu kyakutaano points 41 wadde yakyabanjayo omupiira gumu waba asobodde okuba nga awangula eggolu luli asobola okuba nga adda mu kyokuna najjayo ttiimu eno eya Tottenham. So basembeyo Southampton wadde yakubye Chelsea ku weekend eno yasigaddeyo wansi ku table. Leeds naye alabika okuba nga anaatera okuba nga atulabako points 19. Then ne West Ham ali mu kya 18 points ziri 20. Obubonero bubawula ne Everton, Bournemouth ne Wolves si bungi nnyo era omu ku bano bonna asobola okuba nga addayo anytime from now. Wetunulako emipiira egyasambibwa ku weekend, emipiira gyali mingi nnyo egyasambibwa naye nga talk of town yali Manchester City okuba nga edrawinga ne ttiimu eno ya Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest wogiraba ttiimu y'abacuba kumpi baleese n'omucuba omulala bamuyita Keylor Navas ali mu kubakwatira goal. Musajja mulungi nnyo wadda mu goal eyo. Twalabanga Manchester City strugglinga nnyo kubanga ejjayo akabonero wano ku ttiimu eno eya Nottingham Forest. Ttiimu eyakasobola okuba nga esunsula okujja mu kibinja ky'ababinywera ekya Bungereza. Yo Liverpool yatabuse nayo kati ennaku zino ekuba bukubi. Wetwogereranga yakubye ttiimu awo eya baadde bazanya was it I think it was Wolverhampton. I'm not sure about that. Kandabeko wano mu results zange katono. Liverpool yasobola okuba nga akuba ttiimu eno eya Newcastle. In fact Liverpool ye ttiimu yokka ekubye Newcastle season eno ebakubye emipiira ebiri gye basanze. Wali ku Anfield yabakuba golo yali emu ku bwerere kati yazze wano ku St James Park ekisaawe kya Newcastle n'abakuba zaade golo 2 ku bwerere. Nick Pope yafunye red card ekitegeeza Nick Pope tagenda kubanga azanya final ya Carabao egenda okuba ng'ezannyibwa ku lunaku lwa Sunday zijja kuba ssaawa 1:30. So Nick Pope alabye Newcastle badde mwetaaga nnyo okuba kati olaba balina Buckland ye kipa wa Newcastle owokubiri naye ate kipa ono bamujja mu Manchester United so ali captain abatasobola kubanga azanya. So tugenda kulaba nga Liverpool azanya nga Newcastle azanya Manchester United mu mbeera etali nnungi. Bagenda kuba ne Loris Karius mu goal. Loris Karius abatamumanyi genda onoonyeze final ya Champions League wa 2018 Madrid yali azanya ttiimu ya Liverpool yali mu goal. Omusajja Gareth Bale yamuswaza nnyo Loris Karius. Mu mbeera bwetyo yakola mistakes zaali nnyingi so omupiira gwali gwamugobako mu mbeera bwetyo naye how fate can turn. Loris Karius yagenda okubeera mu goal ya ttiimu eno eya Newcastle nga bazanya ttiimu ya Manchester United. Gujja kubeera wali e Wembley ku lunaku lujja kuba lwa Sunday temugusubwa mupiira gugenda kuba mulungi nnyo. Everton yakuba Leeds yali golo emu ku bwerere kapiteni waabwe Seamus Coleman yakuba goal eyo. Then Bournemouth naye yakubye Wolves zabadde goal emu ku bwerere. Omusajja Marcus Tavernier yakuba goal eyo. Then Manchester United nayo etandise okubanga eringa eraga signs okubanga eyagala ekikopo kino, yakuba Leicester goal zadde 3 ku bwerere in a very good game, very convincing at that. Erik ten Hag yalaze obutali mumativu ng'agamba embeera eno ye teyamunyumidde nnyo era teyanyumiddwa mu mbeera yonna. Yo Aston Villa yabadde ezanya ttiimu ya Arsenal, omupiira gwabadde mulungi paka mu ddakiika y'e85. Abasajja bano Emiliano Martinez we yakubye goolo, then ne Gabriel Martinelli n'asobola okuba nga amukutula ne zibeera goolo 4 ku 2. Ye Oli Watkins ne Philippe Coutinho be bateebedde ttiimu eno eya Aston Villa mu mbeera bw'eti. Empiira egigenda okuba nga giddako, in fact kanjogereko ne ku Tottenham. Tottenham yakubye ttiimu ya West Ham eno era we twogerera nga Tottenham yazze mu kyakuna. Goolo zateebeddwa Song Min Hoon n'omwami bamuyita Aparecido mu mbeera bwetyo. Tujja kuddamu okola Premier League ng'ennaku z'omwezi 24 February. Ku lunaku lujja kuba lwa Friday, Fulham ajja kuba azanya Wolves, then ku Saturday nga 25 tujja kuba tulina Leeds ng'azanya Southampton, Everton ng'azanya Aston Villa, Leicester agenda kuba akyaza ttiimu ya Arsenal, gujja kunyumira nnyo abalabi. Then West Ham United agenda azanya Nottingham Forest, Bournemouth azanya Manchester City, then Crystal Palace agenda kuba ezanya Liverpool. Kujja kuba ku lunaku lwa Saturday ku ssaawa 4:45. Ku Sunday temusubwa wajja kubeera Crystal Palace, wagenda beera Tottenham ng'azanya ttiimu eno ya Chelsea, then Liverpool, then tujja kuzaako Arsenal ng'azanya Everton, Liverpool ng'azanya Wolves, Manchester City ng'azanya Newcastle, Aston Villa ng'azanya Crystal Palace, Arsenal ng'azanya Bournemouth, Chelsea ng'azanya Leeds, Brighton ajja kuba azanya West Ham, then Wolverhampton ajja kuba azanya Tottenham, tumalirize ne Southampton ng'azanya Leicester City. Ku Sunday eyo ujja kuba nga gunyuma Nottingham Forest vs Everton, ate ogunaasemba yegenda kubeera Derby, Liverpool ng'azanya ttiimu ya Manchester City wali ku kisaawe kyabwe, Manchester United ku kisaawe kyabwe kiri ekya Anfield. Ndowooza kampiteko just katono nnyo mu ba top scorer betulinawo wano. Ba top scorer Erling Haaland akyakulembeddemu abateebi mu Bungereza, goal alina 26. Harry Kane alina goals 17. Marcus Rashford atateekerawo kuteeba alina goals ziri 14. Ivan Toney wa Brentford naye alina 14. Mitrovic owa Fulham ali ku goals 15. Ndowooza tukomeko kawo tuyitemu bana aba assists. Kevin De Bruyne ye tekikwewuunyisa, assists 12 mu season emu. Waliwo omusajja we yakola assists 22 mu season emu. Kevin De Bruyne is a genius okutuuka ku mupiira. Bukayo Saka wa Arsenal assists alina 8. Christian Eriksen ali ku injury wali ku Manchester United y'owookusatu alina ziri assists 7. Champions League agenda kuba nga dda era tugenda kuba nga naye tumunyumirwa. Olunaku luno lujja kuba lwa leero, so temusubwa. Tugenda kulaba emipiira egigenda okunyumira abalabi. Ndowooza wagenda beerawo mu Madrid ng'azanya ttiimu ya Liverpool wali ku Anfield, zigenda kubeera ssaawa 5 ez'ekiro. Frankfurt agenda kuba azanya Napoli ku ssaawa 5. Olunaku lw'enkya tujja laba Leipzig ng'azanya ttiimu eno eya Manchester City. Omupiira ogenda okunyuma nnyo Inter Milan ng'azanya ttiimu eno eya Porto. Ku lwokuna temusubwa, tulina Europa League ennaku zino yatabuse nnyo. Nantes azanya Juventus, Midtjylland azanya Sporting CP, Monaco azanya Leverkusen, PSV azanya Sevilla, then CFR Cluj agenda kuba azanya Lazio, Manchester United ng'akwata ttiimu eya Barcelona. Omupiira guno genda kuba mulungi nnyo. Ttiimu ya Barca ebadde esamba omupiira mulungi, naye basajja bana Manchester United bagenda ku kisaawe kyabwe kiri ekya Camp Nou, Stadio Camp Nou, ne bagwa amali nabo zaadde goolo 2-2 nga kinaaba kitya ku Old Trafford. Anaawangula wano ku Old Trafford yaba agenda okuyitamu okutuuka wali ku quarter final za team za Europa League. Ndoza gujja tunyumira nnyo ku lunaku olwokuna. Rennes azanya Shakhtar Donetsk, Union Berlin azanya ttiimu ya Ajax, then Roma agenda kuba azanya ttiimu eno eya RB Salzburg. Omupiira ogwo gujja nyuma nnyo gwa Manchester United ne Barcelona. Katugulinde tulabe biki ebinaavaayo. Ziri eddakiika 27 zezakayita ku ssaawa ezibiri ez'okumakya. Tugenda kuba nga tuwumulamu katono. Tulina omwami Rogers tuli ahawe agenda kuba nga neegattako, naye nga sinnavaawo waliwo obubaka omwami Norman Tumuhimbise bwe yawandiise ku Facebook yendoza yadde abadressingira president w'ekibiina kino ekya National Unity Platform. Norman Tumuhimbise is an activist ate omusajja yakulembera social movement ya The Alternative Uganda. Yawandiise obubaka ku mukutu gwa Facebook olunaku lw'eggulo ndowooza osobola okuba ng'ogenda n'obukeberako ng'alina engeri gy'advisingamu abasajja bano aba NUP ng'abagamba ku the way forward. Ekibiina kino ekya NUP ndowooza mmwe abatakimanyi mikozo bano mingi enjawukana nnyingi ezigenda mu maaso mu kibiina ekyo. Honorable Mpuuga, leader of opposition, ndowooza mwamulabeko wali e Masaka ng'agamba tagenda kuba nga akkiriza kutiisibwatiisibwa. Bantu bangi bagezaako okuba nga bamutiisa naye tagenda kuba nga akkiriza kutiisibwatiisibwa. Mbeera ki okuva ababaka bano aba Alan Sewanyana n'omwami Mohamed Sagirinyo okuva bwe baava waliwo embeera nnyingi eri wali ku NUP, okuva bwe baava mu kkomera waliwo embeera nnyingi eziri awo. Ye Norman Tumuhimbise alina article gye yawandiise naye yagiwaddeko disclaimer nti oba omanyi IQ yo teyambuka kusukka 144 totawaana kugisoma. Abeetaaga okuba nga bagisoma IQ yaabwe erina okuba nga eri above 144. Bye ebigambo byeyaguddewo nabyo mu post eyo. Genda omunoonya wali ku Norman Tumuhimbise ku Facebook kwali munoonyeeko osomeko message ye oba obubaka bwe yaweereza leader of opposition omwami Honorable Kyagulanyi Robert Sentamu. Nze Edgar Matthew Karuhanga eddakiika ziri 28 katuwumulemu tukomawo Rogers tuli ahabwe waali nange wendi paka ku ssaawa zigenda kubeera 4 ez'okumakya. Good morning.
The Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
Looking for a pair of shoes? Les Hub Stores has a wide range of selection for unisex footwear. We have the best quality of all brands at pocket-friendly prices and we make deliveries countrywide. Just place your order or reach us on 0772 08 0090. You can also check up at Les Hub Stores on all our social media platforms. Les Hub, craft your own footprints. Are you craving for that special meal that will entice your taste buds and leave you with lasting thrilling memories? Look no further. Spice Island Bulenga has got your answer. Natural, fresh and delicious juice, the best meals. Don't miss our daily specials from Monday to Sunday. Pizza Wednesday, Saturday Pizza Bonanza, you buy one and take two. Come dine with us and feel the experience. We are located at Prime Shopping Center in Bulenga, Mitiana Road. For inquiries, call us on 0704111720. Spice Island, we treat your cravings.
The Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
Welcome back from that short commercial break. You're still watching the Mighty Drive Show. I'm Edgar Matthew Karuhanga zidi dakika 3 zeza kaita kusawa ebili ey'okumakya tukyali mu first hour of the show kusawa yaffe esooka era twegatiddwako oba negatiddwako omwami Bamita Rogers tuli hamwe nawe osobola okuba nga gwegattako conversation eyo nsindikira message zo ku Facebook page yaffe at the Alternative Uganda kwetuli ne ku TikTok TV tuweereze message yetu tujja kuba nga tuzisoma mpola mpola. Roger Studio hawe yatuuse dda mu studios. Good morning Roger.
Good morning, Edgar. And ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning. My name is Roger Stuyawe, and it's a very great honor to be here today. I take this as a privilege every day I appear here. Because there's at least something I learn from the people who view us, but also from the discussions we have. You see, you might live with people every single day, but every time you have a different issue that you're probably talking about. And in that discussion, you get to learn something new from the people you're discussing with, even if you live with them every single time. So it is a privilege to always be here, and today is one of those. And well, I am excited for the discussion we're going to have. And let's see how it goes. I'm just calling upon the people who are viewing to please make a comment. Head to our social media handles at the Alternative Uganda and TikTok TV. Put a comment there or a question. We'll try as much as possible to give our opinions. Of course, we'll not exactly, you may not satisfy your question, but we'll give what we think about your question or your comment, and maybe we'll
maybe what together. We give will be satisfactory.
Maybe, just exactly.
Nga Rogers wagambye sobola okuba nga otwegattako conversation eno sindika message zo at the Alternative Uganda kwetuli mpola mpola tujja kuba nga tuzisoma nga wetugenda maaso. How was your week?
Well, this is the second day of the week, but
yeah, I'm saying last week plus this week.
Yeah, they were fine. I had some personal things, family related, but God also had a hand in them, so they are sort of stabilizing. But it was okay. It was very good. Yeah, up to now.
What was good? What was your highlight? What can you say this really stood out for me?
In the whole week?
Yeah, generally. It can be a news story, it can be a football match.
Okay, the news story, well, the football match would have stood out, but it did not. I wanted Arsenal to lose on the weekend, which it didn't, so that was...
But at least you know you won.
Either way, Arsenal had to lose, but it wasn't. At least what I wanted did not happen, so I wasn't as happy.
The elephant is still there.
But still at the top. Yeah. But the story that actually stood out is there's something we were speaking about yesterday here, about the fact that a lot of our maize apparently contains some toxins that causes cancer. A lot of our maize. And now that has implications, the health implications for the people, but also economical, because they will probably be banned from crossing borders to exporting to other countries. Yeah. And so realize maize and posho are literally the staple food of this country, and especially for almost everyone. Even the people at the high end, somehow posho finds a way. Even their children will go to school, they'll find it. So it is something that made me think so deeply about how many things go that we do not pay so close attention to. What things government doesn't really, how government sometimes may not pay attention to certain things that turn out that bad. And so if it was true, because it was a report that was made by NARO.
What is NARO? Is it
the National Agriculture Research Organization. And there were, during the time that the Minister of Finance, Kaseja, and Frank Tumwai was the Minister of Agriculture, I think they were visiting for that research. Apparently they had been doing the research since 2007 until this year. And so that is when they said. So apparently also the toxins, even if you roast or boil or cook the maize or posho, whatever that is, the things cannot die. So, I mean, it was scary.
It is scary.
It is scary. So it is something that has stood out for me. I have thought about that for the longest time.
So how have we come to the conclusion that it causes cancer? Is it because of the fertilizers that are used during agriculture? What specifically is bringing about this particular challenge?
That is what I thought also, that it must be about the fertilizers, because it cannot die even when you cook the maize of posho. It means it is something that was literally inbuilt. It is part of like the gene or DNA, I don't know what that is, of the plant. So I thought, they did not see any reason as that causes that. Well, I sort of did not make more research about it. But that little I saw the report did not give the cause of that thing.
Then
But my assumption
then that
was also
report has a challenge. It
Yeah.
must be having a weakness.
yeah, it
because
must
how
be,
can
yes.
you tell us that there is yes and a result, an outcome that cancer is going to breed in people, and yet you don't know the reason as to why, but you know that these things are cancerous.
There were, I saw some things were attributed to the poor soils, others minor apparently about humidity and too
When
much,
did you
too much
reach that?
temperature.
Uganda's land is really, they say
and stuff.
70% of Uganda's land is actually arable land, if you knew. So I don't think the challenge is maybe with the land. Maybe
I have thought it is about fertilizers.
the fertilizers, but there's also GMOs, genetically modified.
Those plants that are
yes,
modified.
Those plants.
Well, either way, it is the work of government because it is the one that lets in the fertilizers and even those GMOs.
Many countries have refused the GMOs. I
Yeah.
remember Kenya had stood its ground, but I think Ruto is
Ruto
allowing
reversing
them.
that
He's
decision,
reversing
yes.
the decision.
Kenya had actually decided
Kenya had
against
actually,
GMOs.
Uganda was also part of those.
It was sort of the process,
yes.
but it never materializes. So I don't understand where we stand right now. But obviously, without any declaration or law, it means the borders are open to those things coming in.
And that is really a very big challenge, because if someone can manufacture food and they bring it to you like that, of course it's going to be having some
And
challenges.
anything unnatural obviously has impact. Anything unnatural has impact. So maybe the government just needs to look more closely and
really know the priorities.
Yeah,
Let's get our priorities right, because human life, I'm realizing some of us don't really know the value and the sanctity of human life, especially in Africa here. People's lives will just go and nobody will really care about it. I was reading an article about the Ethiopian crisis that was there recently, how the Tigrayan region had, they were fighting with the mainstream government and things like that. But you realize that really people were just killing each other. I think close to 1 million people have died in that particular war since it came out. But I'm just thinking, why are they actually fighting? They are the same people, Like, people are not valuing the sanctity of life. Because when you just kill people like that and nobody is accountable, nobody dares to really know what's going on, it feels like tetumanyi value ya bulamu bw'abantu mu Africa. It's the same thing here. Ogamba, we know that these things, maize, the staple food, is cancerous. And we are okay. We are not doing anything about it. It's really, really a very challenging.
But that also happens. I think that comes with. I don't know if just government doesn't pay close attention, or if the institutions of government just don't work. Because if by the time it gets that, because they were saying that it's called aflatoxins, and those toxins apparently are 10 times more than what it should. So by the time it gets to that magnitude, where was the Ministry of Agriculture through that period?
And the research has been for what? 20 years?
Literally,
you said
for
2007, right?
Yeah, 2007.
2007.
Almost
this
20 years. About
years. It's actually
16 or
20
so.
years, practically. Let me see.
About 17
17
or
there, yes. So you really feel like this is a long time.
So that is, and they have, it has happened before, because those same aflatoxins kind of stuff killed some people. Apparently in 2004 it killed about 120 something people in Kenya. And in June of 2016, over 20 people also died in Tanzania from the same cancer-related stuff from aflatoxins, which is sort of the same experience that we are about to face or are facing already.
And you may not
So,
know.
yeah, so there's evidence that these things are actually that dangerous. And so I don't know. I hope government has a solution. I don't know if it's going to probably put out all the maize that is in circulation.
But these are the conversations that people, they don't want us to have. Like, okay, Ugandans don't have. That's the truth.
Yeah.
Right now, there's someone there watching and he's saying these people are boring me because they're talking about aflatoxins and how they're affecting human life. But these are the challenges we face. Bwe tusanga bannayuganda ndoza naffe tubeereko twebuuze ku nsonga ezimu. Like, tufeeyoko kiki ekigenda okubaweerako, because at the end of the day, you're the common denominator.
Yeah.
You who consumes, you're the one who's going to find the challenges in accessing medication, healing from those particular challenges, and sometimes even succumbing to these cases.
The impacts of
the
those
impacts
things.
of these aflatoxins. So let's really, really be careful. The government here very, but government just so kuvayo akubanga addressing is the expenditure. I think they've reduced on the expenditure. What do you know about that?
The permanent secretary came out, Ramadan Gobi, and said...
You people were... What was Ramadan?
Ramadan is actually an intelligent
I
don't remember being a part of that.
They are saying Ramadan changed after he got office.
I have come to actually respect Ramadan because he seems to see things for what they are. Obviously, sometimes you run to... There are things he cannot talk about because of, you don't want to step on people's toes. But by and large, he has tried to look at the problem and seen that there's actually a problem. It's not like the Minister of Finance, Matia Kaseji.
Yeah.
Well, Kaseji has probably also done his job. But by and large, you'll also know that for the time he has been the Minister of Finance, I do not know if we are doing better or doing much worse. Because as of...
What is the landmark that shows the sons who has done better and who has done worse?
Well, the landmark
we also don't even have it here.
Well, we do, we don't have a parameter, but we are going more into the debt trap. As of 2020, last year, I think about June, the Auditor General said that our public debt stood at 86.6 trillion.
Exactly. You're right.
That is mid-year last year.
Over 80 trillion.
Yes.
And what is our budget? Our budget, isn't it, what, 45?
Our budget was $45
billion, so that would be how many trillion?
About, there were...
Yeah, it was around
49
trillion.
trillion.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, because it's $45 billion. Dollars. So that means it's 45 trillion.
Yeah.
49 trillion.
Yeah, around 49.
Yes.
And
so that is more than half of the entire budget for Uganda.
Sort of. But
our debt burden is half.
Our debt burden is, yes. Actually
more than half.
Our annual budget
twice
is
practically twice.
More, just a little more than half our debt burden. So you can see we are going in that cycle of debt, of the demand and all that sort of stuff. So Ramadan Gobi came and said they are going to do some sort of budget restructuring.
Yes.
Especially about expenditures, and said there will be no new cars in the financial year 2023-2024. So there will be no new cars. They said these government officials who usually go abroad for meetings, workshops, those that are not as essential, they will not be going. And he said they only reserved those travels for the three heads of the arms of government, that is President and the Deputy President, the Speaker and the Deputy Speaker, and the Chief Justice and the Deputy Chief Justice. So the priority will only be on those.
So the rest of the people will be traveling on their own?
Well, he said the other exception is that the people who will be going are those who will be doing resource mobilization for the country, those who are probably going to represent on critical issues of security, and there was a third category.
Health?
No, it wasn't exactly about health. There was a sort of another category.
And those boys really fly first class, if you didn't know.
No, of course they are, but
those ministers and what, I was recently with Dr. Jane Luther Cheng. Business class, very, very rich people.
Yeah, but for me, I welcome the idea of sort of cutting that kind of expenditures. Because if you realize some of the things are not really that much important, not so much priority, but we are spending on them anyway. So he said they are going to cut on that. The other category was, there was a third category also, but it's skipping my mind. But that is some of the things they said. And so they hope to cut about 108.5 billion Uganda shillings in these expenditures. So they plan on saving this kind of money. And the idea is that our internal revenue collection can do more and reduce on the borrowing that we have been doing. He actually said we will not be borrowing in the next financial year.
Yeah, I heard that. That is very good news.
Yeah, it is very good.
He said there's not going to be any borrowing and there's not going to be any increase in budgets of any ministry or any government.
Yeah, the third thing was there will be no salary increments for civil servants.
No salary increments for civil servants or anybody in government.
So anybody actually is.
Constant.
What you have, that you stand on. Yeah. So for me, it is a good idea. Because let's face it, even if it will probably even inconvenience some work, but we have to obviously take a bold step. Because if you don't do that, we are going to keep borrowing again and again, and you don't know how far that can go.
But does this country have an economic direction?
I
Do you have something we really think this is the way forward, how we're going to develop, how we're going to build capital, how we're going to empower people to make money? Because I feel like we are still on the old school agricultural way of investing in agriculture, which is not bad. Many people are employed in that, but how many people are going to build wealth of agriculture?
Well, people can actually try to, but the thing is we are sort of moving into technology and innovation.
Yeah, of course, mechanized agriculture.
Yeah, and so the government seems to not pay so much attention to that. Because even if you look at the education sector, you realize that most of the things are sort of theoretical, other than practical. And so if you are moving, the world is moving, you cannot afford to stay behind in the way things used to be. We have our president, like the talk of back in 1980s, back in 1986, he has that discussion, but we have to learn that we cannot live in history.
No, but it's okay to
juxtapose.
He juxtaposes. And
no, that is okay, because history informs where you go.
Exactly.
But you cannot stick to history you cannot use history as a parameter for where you are. You have to see the projection for where you're going. You have to set a goal. You have to have a direction. We have countries that are doing much better. We should be measuring ourselves using them as a yardstick. We cannot be looking back at when we did not have electricity. Yes, we have. But so what are we planning to do with that? So that should be projection, in my opinion. So as a country, I think the leadership, the government, needs to also pay so much attention to the growth that it is, and the trend that the world has set, and the direction that we're moving towards, and try to make policies that are in that direction. Because if you look at our economy generally, it has been going down. More going down. We probably had less money in circulation back in the day, but back then now agriculture and the land was, I don't know if I should say fertile or whatever, but somehow there was enough to go around. Nowadays there's what we call plenty, but plenty is even causing more gap.
What do you mean by plenty?
Plenty, there is so much of everything, but it's only in the hands of the few. So it's only dividing the people. The poor are becoming more poor. The rich are becoming more richer. But there's too much.
That's the system globally.
That's
even during COVID, they tell you that the poor got poorer, and the wealthier got wealthier.
No, but the thing
the
is,
Zuckerbergs of this world, double their money. The Elon Musks, they made the money. Those boys have it.
But the thing is, there's just enough for everyone. Well, I am sort of a Marxist.
No, the question would be, Rogers, has government really been pertinent, already intentional about bringing income inequalities and generating income for everybody? How can we say genuinely as a country, we want everybody to be empowered to make money or to be wealthy?
No,
the question is everybody in the ecosystem of how money is made? No, Rogers, we have people
that's true,
who are making millions of shillings a month, and we have individuals who don't even hold a penny a month.
A day,
ngomwezi kugwako 31 days, a full moon, and my dear, this guy has not got 1,000 Uganda shillings.
Yeah, that's
but a good thing, like the landscape is okay, that he'll go get something from his garden,
put on his table, and that is it.
Exactly. And he will not die, right?
Well, the goal shouldn't be that people are not dying.
Which is
the goal is not that people are not dying.
Survival of the fittest. When you survive, it's already.
No.
They say win today, die tomorrow. Fight today, win tomorrow.
No. The goal cannot be just living. The goal has to be improving. Because, okay, now for you, you're fighting to survive, but you're going to have some offsprings, 5 of them. What are you going to do for them? So if you're surviving alone by yourself, will you be able to provide for the 5 people when they come? So that means you need to do something that is putting in place something for the people who are coming, for the next generation. And the population will keep only increasing, it will not decrease.
Exactly.
So we have to work towards having enough. So my problem is that there is literally enough for people, but the enough is with the few. I am sort of a Marxist, so I look at things in
a different way.
In a way of things should be equal for all people, I am a student of capitalism, but I do not exactly like capitalism. Well, as much as it breeds competition, and competition is healthy for growth, capitalism is also sort of more mean and personal. Yes,
sidelines.
Yeah, it's about acquiring more and more individually, not collectively.
And you guys got as a country, you adapted what they call an open, free economy, where there is competition of resources, where the person with the money really calls the shots. He's the one with the gold at the end of the day. So when you don't have money, you don't have anything to say. The person who has the money will be the one to really call all the shots.
Yeah, that's true.
And that is what is happening here. But Rogers, we have challenges in the economy of Uganda, and I really want us to look at those challenges. We have challenges of the income inequality. We have challenges of policy. We don't have a stipulated policy that guidelines how money goes and how money is made, how we get loans and how not we get the loans. We have a challenge of the debt burden itself, as you've mentioned it. And we've also had a challenge, Rogers, of the value of money. The value of the Ugandan shilling
is going down the more.
Every day, when you compare it to the dollar, it is at 3,880 shillings. $1 like this, Rogers. 3,880. What does this speak of us? And let's talk about the income inequalities. We have, Rogers, and I want to paint a picture for you and the viewers. We have people who can go to a restaurant, right? For lunch, a meal. Right now, a decent meal for two. A decent meal. We're not saying, okay, you can get any other meal. But if you want to have a decent meal in a decent place, for two people, that meal is going to be like, at least that's 150,000 UGX. A decent meal.
Well, depending on where you go.
That's what a decent meal is.
Some of our hoods, you can really get food at 3,000.
Is that a decent meal? If that is decent
on what you define as decent.
That is decent to you. There are some others who...
Yeah, that's true.
Because
that's true,
the fact is, let's even speak. Can you even find these days food of 3K?
Well, it's
even,
a hustle.
Let's say to the modest family. Do you find 3K? A plate is 4K, at least 5.
Yeah, mostly 4 and 5.
4 and 5. That is like now the basic, what we used to say, emere ebiri. Right now.
That's true.
Go to a hotel, go to Java's today, and go with your friend or your girlfriend. Tell me if you're going to spend less than like 100,000 Uganda shillings.
No, absolutely.
What is 100,000 Uganda shillings in dollars today? That's close to what? $25?
Oh, I think.
Yes, around there, $23, $25.
As in 20.
And you're just eating a meal. We're having in a system where there's someone making 10,000 shillings a day. Go here against the community. I tell you, there are those that are not. So, Chiche Kugamba. And you have a waitress who's serving these guys, the Rogerses of this world, who are going to eat the food of 150, 200K. And Olija, that one meal he's eating is paying this person for a full month. Really? But this person is eating it in one day, one meal or two meals. Rogers, what does this speak of the people of Uganda at the end of the day?
No, that's like you said, you see, in the society of capitalism, and people amassing more and more wealth, that will be designed as something that is okay. They will say it is okay. Why? Because this one has probably worked to have what it is that they are earning from, and they are obviously using the other one to amass more. Obviously, it is not good because that divide obviously eventually bursts. There's Marxism, if you have followed. Like I said, I've read a bit about Marxism. And so what literally was saying is, it is sort of a battle between the owners of the means of production and the workers.
Of course.
And the workers. And the owners will try as much as possible to exploit you, the workers, so that he can get better. Yeah. But he also said that it is only a matter of time before revolution breaks out, that these workers have to now, when it goes beyond, it is not something unbearable anymore, that they have to the bosses. But that is something that is also a matter of time. It is not fair. And the problem that is causing that is that most of the states have also resigned to that sort of the free economy.
Free market economy.
Yes, where they leave everyone to determine the prices. You saw when we had the commodity prices going up, every single person, every shop had the liberty, were at liberty to determine how much anything they are selling goes. And so the problem with that is people are going to exploit people so much so that people reach a point where they cannot afford basic means of survival.
Exactly.
And if the state does not do anything, it always explodes against the state because it is supposed to be the ones to protect the people and their properties and look after them.
The state hypothetically here is trying to say that they are protecting people. You remember recently when they told the schools not to increase on the tuition fees? That was a means that, and they are saying that they are protecting the people. The irony of that is that at the end of the day, you realize that are we doing it from a good heart? Because you are telling us the schools not to increase tuition fees, but the taxes you are imposing on these schools are remaining constant. So the schools are like, isn't this hypocritical of you, government, to say, okay, reduce on the school fees. You want to look good in front of the parents, but back end, it's us who are still taking the squeeze and the pass.
And eventually, obviously, the schools will fail and the parents will not have benefited either way. Because now the children will have nowhere to go to school. So I think it all goes back to government and what it considers the priorities that it has. Because we seem to be, it's very laid back. Everything happens in the sort of, the approaches of laissez-faire.
Laissez-faire attitude.
The attitude of everyone do whatever you wish and all that kind of stuff. So it is a problem we face, and the government has definitely to work itself up, or we are going to see more divide, and obviously the impact will also be there just as much.
Okay. Just 58 minutes past the top of the hour. You are watching the Mighty Drive Show. My name is Edgar Matthew Karohanga. It's now time we really take a break because we have 2 minutes to the top of the hour. Rogers, when we come back, I want us to really look at, first of all, the policy. We also look at the value of our money. How can we improve the value of our money? How can we really compete with the dollar? Because it is really shaming that our shilling is at 3,880. And in other countries, our shilling is actually not even accepted.
You should see the ranking, the global ranking of currencies and see where we stand.
You'll be shocked.
You'll be embarrassed.
We take a break now. We'll be right back. This is the Mighty Drive Show. I'm Edgar Matthew Karohanga. This gentleman is called Mr. Rogers Turiahabo. He's a journalist and a lawyer right here at Digitalk TV. Good morning.
The Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
Are you craving for that special meal that will entice your taste buds and leave you with lasting thrilling memories? Look no further. Spice Island Bulenga has got your answer. Natural, fresh and delicious juice, the best meals. Don't miss our daily specials from Monday to Sunday. Pizza Wednesday, Saturday Pizza Bonanza, you buy one and take two. Come dine with us and feel the experience. We are located at Prime Shopping Center in Bulenga, Mitiana Road. For inquiries, call us on 0704111720. Spice Island, we treat your cravings. Looking for a pair of shoes? Les Hub Stores has a wide range of selection for unisex footwear. We have the best quality of all brands at pocket-friendly prices, and we make deliveries countrywide. Just place your order or reach us on 0772 080090. You can also check up at Les Hub Stores on all our social media platforms. Les Hub, craft your own footprints.
The Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
Eridakiika emu ye yakaita ku ssaawa essatu ez'okumakya oli ku The Mighty Drive Show. Nze Edgar Karuhanga okubanga nkuweereza. Tukyali mu kwogera ku mbeera y'ebyensimbi mu ggwanga. Embeera y'ensimbi yeekanamye, ndowooza buli kimu kya bbeeyi mukimanyi. Olaba ennaku zino ebintu engeri gye babiseeramu Rogers. A kilogram of rice is 5,000 Uganda shillings if you didn't know. A kilogram of sugar is 5,000 Uganda shillings. Everything is like now the landmark of getting things is 5,000. A bar of soap is 6,000. A bucket of detergent is 5,000.
A bar of soap where I live is 7.
7? You are lucky. You're unlucky, sorry.
A bar where I live it is 7.
I think it's 6, yeah, 6.5 around there.
Mine is 7.
A 2 liter of, is it 2 liter or, yeah, 2 liter or 1.5 liters of cooking oil is 8,000.
That used to be what, like 3,000?
Yeah, 3,000 around there. When you look at a gallon of fuel, that is 5,000. What else? Like 5,000 is now the mark, and it's more than even $1.
You see, the problem is the government has also given a blind eye. Because most of the things increased during COVID and after because of the commodity prices. But even when the prices went back from the import part,
back?
They are not the same. They are not the same. Well, not all of them, at least. But the problem is when you do not have a standardized pricing of products, everyone is going to put whatever they feel. That is why you go here, you will find a liter of fuel is 5,000. You go in another place, it is 4,600. Another place is 5,200. Because there is no standard, there is no coordination. Everyone costs the way they want. But that is also now a problem of I don't know, of policy, as you were talking about.
But was it the privatization issue of saying let's private? Because government literally privatized everything.
Yeah, everything is private. But even then, government still has...
private-led, economy.
But still, government has a role of regulation, even if it is private. It can manage, it can control the threshold of how things are costing. That still goes back to government. So it might have privatized, but it still controls how it can control how much you cost a particular thing. There was a time I was in some discussion. It was about coffee really, and it was headed by an organization here called CATIN. It's a continued organization also. And they were talking about the issues of coffee, how people are going through all that. And the biggest problem, as they said, was that government is keeping a blind eye. It's on the backside. It gave everything else to Pineti, literally gave her the powers to cost things as she wishes, and the Uganda Coffee Development Authority, but both of which institutions literally are at liberty to do whatever they feel. Yeah, so someone will have their garden of coffee, but something that would have costed, for example, 1 million, someone will come and say, I'm giving you 300. But you have nowhere else to run.
To sell.
You must sell to him.
But that policy, I don't know how it works. Just in it does not appeal to my common sense if we always have that thing of one person capitalizing everything, right? It was there even in terms of was it the COVID manufacturing of masks? Remember,
yes.
19 had been given the whole tender until Ugandans were like, hey, you cannot give a tender to one company. Please bring, and the other Ugandans were eating like the snippets. So
the leftovers.
Yeah, but you realize that we always give. That's why most Ugandans, especially journalists, are skeptical of who gets the government tenders. Every time they wanted to bring, I remember, car detectors. Are they called car detectors or something like that? Tracking devices.
Where did that end, by the way?
Until Ugandans rose up and said no. But They were telling who, everybody was like, who is going to get this tender? Because there is something about tenderings that Ugandans give. It's not given on merit, it's not given on competition. Someone just gets a tender just like that.
So the problem again is, to me, is on regulation. We have some reasonable policies, by the way. Well, we still have some policy gaps, some here and there, but by and large we have policies in place. The problem we have is that the policies do not work. They don't work at all. Omuntu abeerawo, they are head of a certain ministry or a certain institution of government, but what they do is dependent on their wishes and their will as individuals, not as heads of those institutions. So if it's a tender, for example, that is about milk, they will say, okay, who do we know in that area?
Remember
and that
the
person
milk thing that was supposed to be given to all schools?
And that person is and that person is the one who is in charge of that sort of sector, and it is dependent on him as he sees fit to distribute resources, to spend, and to.
I have had leaders who get the government money. The government is supposed to, like, it has sent money to this ministry, and the money is not put on the account of the ministry. It's actually put on the account of an individual.
Account.
And this individual holds this money for 6 months. Remember, like, as you could tell, the appreciating a mango in his account, then he will bring back after 6 months. So 6 months down the road, there's no activity going on in the ministry, and everybody's, what is happening? This person is trying to make profits off the money, and after making the profits off the money, that's when he releases, but he stays with the profits. How shameless can that be?
No, the problem that someone is not shameless. They have been given the opportunity to grow their money. They have done that to make money.
Their money?
Yeah, to make money. Because
money.
So what happened?
What money that is the person watching us? That's their money.
Yes, it is their money, but the people we have trusted to look after that money are not doing their job. So this one is taking the advantage of that.
Are they the same people that we trusted with the NSSF money?
Now you can Now you can see NSSF and see where it stands right now. Honestly speaking, the money that has been earned on the backs of Ugandans, breaking their backs day and night to try and save something for their retirement, for their children and their families in future, for the education of their children. You wake up one day and feel like this is actually, it might even end up in consolidated funds. And before you know it, the government is using the money for whatever they want. Or someone will just go and say, like you said, they will take it, it makes profits for them and return it. At what point? Or probably not return it at all. But that is a problem of having a government that is not accountable, that is not transparent. When someone comes out and says we have a corruption that is especially spearheaded by head of government agencies, heads of government agencies or government agencies generally, and the head of state comes and says, look, leave my people alone, what do you expect someone to do?
As long as they're investing here in Uganda.
Exactly. What do you expect? If they're investing at all anyway. Because I mean,
they are building apartments.
You will not follow up to apartments for who? You will not even follow up to see if they are even building there. If the parameter is that, if for example, out of 100, 55 of them are building apartments, 45 of them could just be taking it out of the country. But you will not follow because the other percentage keeps it here. So either way we lose. And that is, someone earns at the backs and expenses of all the other people. So if we have a head of state, the government itself, that is looking the other side, I don't care.
Giving a blind eye.
Hey, it's not my business. That is what we are going to be getting. And trust me, it's only going to get worse.
But then we have also another challenge. You are saying that government tries to empower through economic schemes. You've seen them bringing, what is the latest parish development model?
Yes.
But Rogers, there is also a challenge in this country that government seems to be eavesdropping, or what can I call it? They are following up on really Ugandans critically. How much money do you have in your account? If today a lump sum of like 50 million came on your account, first of all, they will first
freeze it.
And
That's
ask you, Rogers, where did you get the 50 million Uganda shillings? 50 million! That is like close to what, $12,000?
Mm.
And it's making someone paranoid like that.
It's,
There are people whose money is being used. Did you? I think over you've heard of this story. Recently, there's a good thing the police jumped into action, and they arrested the individuals who were stealing money from people's accounts. Remember, there is a manager of Stanbic Bank that is in Amasuba, and I think Stanbic Bank Lugogo around there. These people really sat down and they were swindling money from people's account and using it to their own benefit and their own will. And when you look at it, what is that fear we have of money that comes from foreign currency that may come to an account of someone, or someone making his own money at the end of the day? Yes, I know government is a regulatory, but it feels like it's just 50 million, for crying out loud.
no, well, I
Or
wouldn't.
100, even if it's 200.
I wouldn't ordinarily have a problem with government doing that, because I do not know how your normal allowances has been 300,000 a month, and out of the blue you have 100 million. It is only fair that we check where it comes from. If it is authentic, that is okay.
For them, they have that money in their account.
That's a problem. You see, the problem is not the problem is not that they are checking.
That's the thing. It feels like you want to keep everybody else in the dark. Okay, but for you, that's the problem.
No, it is not a problem.
The loans work with some people, they don't work with others.
You see, the problem is not that loans or people have been checked. The problem is that there are people who have been left scot-free. That is the problem. It doesn't make regulating the other people a problem. It is okay. That is what they should be doing.
The problem is
the problem is the regulations are portioned unfairly. Someone will get $1,000 and who cares? I mean, they're untouchable and you have nothing to do. If it's probably the minister, for example, of finance, who is getting 100 million in a day, you won't question, because I mean, he's the minister of finance. There could be other ways he's getting the money. But ordinarily, they should be checking
could
where.
Be stealing. In fact,
exactly.
He should be the one you should be looking out for, rather than looking out for me. Because at least for me, I'm a private guy. I'm an individual. I can hustle and make my money in my own way. But a minister, you're holding a government office. Where are you getting all that money from?
That is not a problem. Is they said they cannot do the lifestyle audit. So now everyone is at liberty to say, this is my private money. I have made it myself, even if they are working for government. Because we do not know how much wealth they have, how their expenditures habits are, and income. So you cannot ascertain how much they should be earning, especially if there are people whose expenditures are not static. Because for you, there are chances that at least they know from the earnings you have never gone above 100 million. So anything less than 100
anything
is
more
okay.
than 100 is
anything above 100 is suspected.
Where have you got the 100
The other one this month will get 100 million. Next month will get 800. The other month will get 500. So so even if it increases, it feels like that is the usual stuff. That one has his money. So the problem, I think, what we need to do is to really go through the lifestyle audit. I think it was a brilliant idea to check how much people earn and how much people spend and what their wealth is like. So then you know how much someone has
worth.
Is like how often or when they get something that is unusual, that is suspectful. And then you have to now investigate and all that stuff, especially if someone is in charge of government agency, because they are holding a lot of wealth on behalf of ordinary people.
But do the people who are investigating them, do they even have the moral authority to do that? Because how do you investigate someone where you see there is when you point one finger at the other person, the other 3 or 4 are pointing at you. So is there anybody in government? What Kadaka was actually mentioning, if you remember in the past, the Namuganza saga, the past Namuganza, it's like nobody has the moral authority to question past Namuganza, because all of you have used your offices in a funny way to, enrich yourselves or make yourselves more happy. So you don't even have the moral authority to say that the Muganza should step down or should do this. And I feel even the investigators, the so-called investigators, they have their dark skeletons. They do not have the moral authority to really
But if you have laws that apply, that work, then we should not look at how morally someone is upright to implement that one, because even themselves, they are subjects to that law. So it means if you're not clean yourself, today is another person's turn, and tomorrow is your turn. Eventually, the law will catch up with everyone. So if the law works, the issue is as the law works, if it works, then we should not worry about the morality. We should not worry about the morality of any individual or implementing authority. Because eventually what goes around comes around. If you're the person who is in charge of the lifestyle audit, you should know that your lifestyle itself is subject to that audit. So you will eventually be audited yourself.
Can't forget that generally it's not even only on the national scheme. Even down here, like normal organizations, civil society, families, people set laws that sometimes they fall prey to. And oftentimes they're the first people to fall prey to those particular laws. Yeah. I remember there's an individual who brought up a law in some company, and this individual was saying, in case anybody loses anything of the company, they have to pay in 21 days. La 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 la. I'm like, okay. And little did they know that it was coming for them. She was the first person to lose the iPhone of the company, and everybody was like, hey, you have lost the iPhone.
You have 21 days too.
The iPhone was costing close to $1,200. And this individual was like, okay, let's wait. It's now what? The third month, I don't know if they've paid that particular thing. That's funny how the law is.
But that is fair.
Comes for you.
I think that is fair. That no one is exempt from the application of the law.
Yes, Rogers. You see, I want us to speak from, you are speaking from a moral point of view, which I agree, right? But I want to speak from a realistic point of view. Because right now I feel like we need realistic solutions for the challenges we are facing in this country. Let's speak openly. Like how I liked Norman's missive that he wrote to Chagulanyi. It was an open talk. It's like, okay, let's speak the truth. Let's just speak the elephant that is in the room. The elephant in the room is that their laws are not working, or they are working for certain individuals, they are not working for certain individuals. How do we break that in a realistic point of view? What can we do that can really make sure that it is realistic? We achieve this thing like realistically at the end of the day. A realistic solution. I also don't have it.
An easy way out, change.
Change the government.
I would. No, well, not necessarily the government as a whole. Not necessarily the government as a whole. That is not a
solution.
But you change it. You see,
culture. You should change.
I don't think it's culture. Country? But for me as an individual, I like to especially take a lot of things, especially as far as government is concerned, to take them back to the head of state.
Of course, he's the first citizen.
The head of state has an authority to say that tomorrow I want the NSSF investigated, I want who is swindling people's money arrested, and I want them jailed, and I want them paying back that money. He has that authority.
Exactly.
But true. When the head of state keeps quiet in the mess that goes around, especially in the NSSF,
that leave them as long as they are investing here.
What do you expect? So one is, for me, I think the office of the head of state works in some ways, but he has largely left a lot of things unattended to, and left them for people, and has also had that thing of they will take care of that. But the problem is, if they feel like they are not accountable to you, then they are at liberty to do whatever they please. So for me as an individual, I think it also has to begin from the head of state. To say that I am holding these institutions I had accountable. I am going to put you to the Ministry of Security and Defense. Those are people who are, I think, some of the few institutions that still have some semblance of accountability and transparency. At least to him as an individual. He knows who is who. He knows what is going where. He knows what operations are happening. He keeps tabs on almost every single move. Every single thing that happens in that department.
Because the power is there.
Exactly. So he should put the power everywhere. He should put it everywhere. He should know that people's livelihoods, as he has already said, is someone who likes talking about the well-being and livelihoods of people improving. people to move away from chida chonka to subsistence sort of farming and economy that moves and profits. So that means he has to also invest in that process. He cannot sit back, give a minister that much liberty to do whatever he pleases. The minister may have the liberty that is due him as long as he holds office, but he needs to also have some sort of checks and balances. So if the president gives him that much liberty and the authority, he will obviously misuse him. Too much power is always misused.
Of course.
If it is not checked.
I think let me read some messages here. Julius Hilk, he says he's live from Lemiaga, Sembabule. How is Sembabule? Though the spelling of Sembabule, you wrote it wrong. It's Sembabo. Sembabule Lemiaga. Thank you for watching, Mr. Hilk. Novelist Kabale Eric, thank you so much for watching. He's watching from Mwakiso. A very, very inspiring writer here. Thank you so much for watching. Feroz Mwonge says, good morning. Our economy is hijacked by mafia. How can a whole country not have a governor of Bank of Uganda and the life is normal? You can talk about macroeconomic stability without a strong central bank. This is a very good message.
No, it is right, because the central bank literally regulates the flow of
and we don't have the governor
the
up to now, up to today.
Yeah,
the deputy governor is the one that is acting as the governor.
As the governor.
Yeah. And then he also mentioned something about the mafia. This mafia has been mentioned in many, many schemes.
Mafia is
in many, many things.
Yesterday,
a state minister came out and said the slowness of the construction of the Hoima International Airport is because of the mafias who are increasing or overpricing products used or commodities used to build that particular airport. And remember, those are some things they've talked about recently, that everything Uganda buys is overpriced, starting from the road. You remember the expressway? For those who don't know, the expressway is the most expensive road in the world.
I think I don't think
in the world. No, you go check it. Check it. Not even in Africa. I have done a fact check on this. It is the most expensive road in the world. In terms of, not in terms of the quality and everything, but in terms of the money that was invested.
The cost.
Yes. The cost was too bizarre. And we have had that challenge over and over. And it's the same challenge I think Elias Lukwago, Lord Mayor, was arguing about, saying that most of the roads in Kampala, most of the roads, starting from this road that is even here, it was one of the examples he gave, very, very priced. A kilometer of a road in Uganda costs more than 1 billion shillings. 1 billion. But go check the same road in Kenya. It's the same road, the same quality, but with different pricing. Ours is priced more expensive.
As much, yes.
You get. And it's just a problem that we have had for a time now.
And in every sector.
In every sector.
Yeah.
And that is the mafia that this gentleman is talking about. And it's a mafia that has been mentioned about. What is this mafia that is running the state, but practically in a shadow? I don't really
I think the mafias are actually in every state. But I think ours is to the effect that they have over-penetrated everything.
Yes.
Because in every sector, when they are buying anything, somehow there's an overcost. There's always an overcost. So I think, again, I think it also goes back to the culture we build as a country and the government. So if the government is used to whom it may concern, everyone will do as it may concern them. And they will obviously want to go with an extra dime or two. So again, it will go back to government, the heads of state, the way these accountability measures.
Do you know these people are few of them are the ones who return the money?
Even when they are apprehended.
Yes.
Yeah.
Few of them return the money. Right, yeah. And these people, you see, we've grown a culture of talking about money in billions. I don't know if it's because of the value of our shillings. Do you know people talk about billion like it's something small? Like he stole 15 billion. And everybody is comfortable. And it's normal, business as usual. But Rogers, when you talk about 15 billion, how many millions are we talking about? 1,500 million.
1,000 million.
150,000 10,000s.
You have done your math very well.
Yeah.
But
You know, I want to, when you break it down to this, that's when these people know the magnitude of such a thing. 150,000, 10,000 shillings notes.
obw'omutwalo emitwalo 15.
Webale nnyo ssebo. Obukadde 1,000 bwe bubeera mu kawumbi kamu.
Obukadde 1,000. Kamu, bubiri,
Kitegeeza obukadde
1,000, 500, 1,000.
Ekitegeeza obukadde 1,500.
That is 1.5. That is
obukadde gumu kitundu practically. 15,000 and millions.
Yes. That is a 15 billion.
You see the magnitude.
The money is, we lose every financial year, we lose. You see, our budget.
Yes, what was she saying? The IGG.
Our budget.
We lose how many trillions?
Our budget, this financial year that we are in, was 49, right? Over 10 trillion of that is lost in corruption. Over 2 trillion is lost in the illicit financial flows. Now that is for fighting and money laundering and stuff like that, mafias stuff. 2 trillion.
And they don't even get those laundering schemes. Boys are laundering money in Kampala.
So
I think it's the easiest country.
Money
Uganda is the
scheme.
easiest country to just
Get rich.
not get rich, but to maneuver your way around.
So
If you're not decent in Uganda, you can make money.
Museveni just told you last time that Uganda, even if you sleep, you eat.
Even a fool can survive.
Even a fool can survive in Uganda. So,
which is actually true. I realize
that
that
is the thing.
even
So
a fool in Uganda can
it's
survive.
a lot to do with the again laissez-faire way of doing things. That even if you know that someone ate money, they are going to be in the news for like a month or two,
A month.
we'll move on.
A month. Rogers, a month is too long.
We will move on.
3 days. Ugandans move on fast. In fact, they can even get you today, and your story stops trending on that very day.
Right? And you see, let me tell you now, the problem is actually sometimes more than the government itself. I had the people who are giving an argument during the Bamutura Chisaga. I had the people who are giving an argument of what is Joel saying. Why, I mean, how, like you said about his moral authority, how can he ask those questions? But that is his job.
Exactly.
That is what he's supposed to be doing. That if someone comes out to hold someone accountable, you even turn to the person who's holding accountable and say, look, who are you? Who do you think you are?
Rogers, we are in a society where the victims are blamed. Have you ever realized that? For example, you will find, let me just give you an example. You will go in maybe in a case, and this girl has been raped. Do you know what Ugandans will say? Why did she wear indecent?
A short,
Why was she wearing a short skirt? She called it onto herself. And that is a justifiable reason on their case. But they are forgetting that you're blaming the victim.
You're promoting the vice. Another person will
the
feel,
victim.
Yes.
So that means
if
if she were naked, he has a right to do what? To rape.
actually, that's true. Yeah.
Right? That's what you're trying to assert. We're not ridiculing the problem. It is the same thing we had during the 2021 elections. Gullibly seeing some leaders on national TV saying, Kyagulanyi assa abaana, ali mu kussa abaana b'abendi. And I'm like, okay, Kyagulanyi kituufu ali mu kussa abaana b'abendi, tetugaanye. Ani ali mu kutta abaana?
By the way.
Yes, Kyagulanyi ali mu kussa. It is okay, assa. He's putting them at a risk. But there is this person who
was he even putting them?
Yeah, they're calling them out rallies and things like that, and they are being shot. And this person is saying, okay, yes, they are being shot because of Kyagulanyi. Who is shooting them? Amaso ogajja kuki?
Ku the perpetrator, ugateka ku victim. You literally shift the blame.
It is just entrenched in our society like that.
So I think my actually biggest problem has also been with the people feeling like this is not my business. I have some friends I recently quarreled with. A very serious quarrel. It was about, they said, we were talking about something, and then they said, but you're also very political. I was like, look at this one. What do you mean you're political? I was like, you politicize everything. I asked him what exactly about you is not political.
Thank you.
From the dress you have, to even the salon you go to cut your hair, to the toothbrush you use at home, to the socks in your shoe. What is not political about you? And they were like, you guys just exaggerate things. And I was like, okay, that is how we are going to suffer the most. And feel like this is not...
Some people will tell me, Edgar, you with your politics, One time your politics is so. For me, I hate politics, and that's what they are saying. For me, I don't like politics. And I'm like, okay. You don't like politics.
Politics likes you.
Exactly. Like, you don't have to like it. You are subject to the principles that are made by the big guys in suits and in their cozy houses and things like that. But we don't know that. I think Ugandans have not realized, and I will always say this time and again, the power that politics has, or what having power literally means. If you have power, that's when you really know what power means. So some people who have power know what power means. That's why they are willing to die for power.
Yeah, that's true.
You get people here are just lazy fair, and it's okay.
I think there's the thing is, I don't know if people have generally understood that they also have the power.
Exactly. Yeah, they don't know that.
So until then, their power is going to be used against them.
Exactly.
There was a friend who was saying, in a Christian sense, that look, you may not be interested in how the devil uses you, but the devil is interested in how you are available for use. So that is the same thing that is happening in politics. You may not necessarily like politics as it is, but well, look, some other person, the state, or generally community, society, is going to thrive on you, on what you provide, on your presence and your gullibility.
For them, they capitalize on
so whether you're interested or not, it is going to happen. So you'd better get yourself interested. So you know how maybe you can change and influence how certain things are done. You may not necessarily change the status quo, but you may aid in the process of making it a little better.
Okay.
Yeah. So you cannot sit back and say, look, politics is a dirty game. I am not interested in that. And by the way, politics is not for people you see in suits in parliament and all that. Politics is for every single person. Because you are from the local council, you are people who pay taxes from the ground up. And those are the taxes that people in suits who are going to parliament are thriving on.
Exactly.
So you are a part of the political system from your family, from your wife, from your husband, from your sister and brother to your parents, all the way up to the head of state. So you cannot sit back and say, look, I am not interested in this. If the economy is declining, so what? I don't care. As long as I eat and sleep. You had that say of that guy who was saying, the government is eating the money. When I put my 500 coin in my pockets to sleep, I wake up in the morning and I find it still there. So what is government stealing? So until you understand how much the systems work, the systems will also be using you, and you will not be benefiting from that.
Okay, let me read this message. Feroz Mwonge says, exchange rate of a country is not really the best indicator for economic development. Using the dollar as a yardstick for economic performance is not true. I am not using the dollar as a yardstick, but I'm just giving you the different dynamics in the economic ecosystem of this country. I'm giving you...
No, you're using the yardstick of other economies, how they are doing against ours.
Yes, that is also true. But the thing is, how do we improve our money? Because at the end of the day, how are you going to, call shots on the international market when
you're at the extreme end of the pyramid?
Your currency is not valued at anywhere. I'm telling you, Ugandan currency, even in Kenya, most of them don't even like to exchange money from Uganda shillings to Kenyan shillings. And we're the same East African community. You get most of the country. If people who travel can tell you that every time you reach at the airport, most of them have to leave their shillings here. They move with dollars.
From the airport
from
of
the
Uganda.
Airport here of Uganda, not there. I'm not even getting the
you
money
leave
from
your
the
money
airport
in
to
Uganda.
there. The only people who are going to receive your money very well are the people here.
Because it will have no one on the other side, don't know.
Nobody will accept your Uganda shillings in most countries here. You're going to go the side of Zimbabwe. That's why you're realizing most boys are getting these dollars on the black market. By the way, people don't know this, but this is not where I don't have to say this because it's actually illegal. But boys are getting money on the black market.
They are
at a lesser price, at a lesser cost, at a very, very less cost per shilling, per dollar to the shilling rate. If you didn't know, Ugandans don't know that the only place they know go to the forex exchange and get the money there. But that is not how the system works. If we're going to really build our country, we're going to invest in our currency, and we have to reform this currency to bring it to the common. You cannot tell me the most common denominator of our shilling is 100 shillings. 100 shillings. People have $100 and that is what, close to $500,000 of Ugandan shillings. And for you have a chikumi 100 shillings is doing nothing. You have 1,000 shillings and it's a note. We have a note of 50,000 shillings.
I think we have more 50,000 shillings than we have any other currency note.
There's like a 20k very, very useless money.
Everything else.
Let me read. The actual problem in Uganda is people investing in dead stock, high-rise building, which are not occupied, and overborrowing both internally and externally. Very, very accurate when you talk about that. Most people here in Uganda think that investment should be done in buildings. Chizimbe. But
everyone wants to set up an apartment.
But when you look at the Chizimbe, how long do you take to get returns?
But even if you get returns, for how long is it?
Yeah, it's durable. It's going to be there for your lifetime. Even your kids may.
Lifetime?
Yeah.
It needs to be there for a lifetime.
Yes, a building can be there for a lifetime, Rogers.
The building does not appreciate.
Yeah, but it's going to be there. That's what I'm trying to say. The asset is there at least.
Well, you know, but you also know that as we grow, as time goes by, the standard goes down because we keep improving. And the cost will go down along with it.
In Uganda, costs don't go down.
And they will go. They eventually will. There are places.
In Uganda, let me tell you, you have an apartment, you're going to say, it's expensive. An Ethiopian is going to come and pay the apartment.
Yeah, they will pay. That's true. There are always people who are going to afford.
I rarely see buildings really not getting clients. It's very rare.
And here, this is how it's connected, how it goes down. You just talked about our economy and currency. So if it is losing, for example, if you're 5 years ago, a house of 200,000, it was too much money. Do you know that?
Yes.
So it was people who are somewhere.
Yeah, by the way,
who are living
those
in
were
the
the
200
middle class.
Right now, it is like a blessing to find a house of 200,000.
Exactly, especially in Kampala here.
Especially in Kampala. So you realize that over time, okay, things are going to also become expensive, but people are also going to want better things. So your house, well, you will still be getting some money, but your standard will obviously reduce.
Exactly. One thing I think, building houses, okay, it's good for people who don't like to really stress. But it's the obvious. It's what everybody's going to do.
It's not something sustainable.
How do you make money like fast and then make that money replicate more money? Right? And then get your investment faster. A house will take 10 years to bring back the investment you invested.
Depending, if you put on glasses.
Yes. But there are businesses that will bring profits in a day, in 2, in a week. How do you invest in such franchises at least? And we also have another challenge. Most of the franchises we have here are foreign based.
No, generally, I think the issue is, I don't know if I should also put that one on government. Because there's sort of no investment direction in this country. The government will not come up and tell people that, look, if you need returns, if you need to grow economically, or you want to, make your livelihood sustainable, you must invest in 1, 2, 3 things, A, B, C, D investment. That is not going to happen. Yeah, so people are going to go with what is safer. Yes. But here is the thing: the more risky the investment, the more returns.
The more money, yes.
That is what it works.
Yeah, we don't know.
But so if you've not guided the investment protocols, they are going to go for what is less risky. But what is less risky has very less returns, just as much.
Exactly.
And you have a government that does not appreciate the small economy. That does not invest in like this SMEs, small and medium enterprises. The people who are trying to
these days they are trying
a little bit innovative.
These days they are trying to really invest in the small and medium scale enterprises.
Are they?
The government is trying. They've started the High Innovator program. They brought Uganda Development Bank. They are. The problem is in the implementation. You see, the government sometimes
have they helped if they have not implemented?
There are many girls getting money in those things.
And do they do follow-up to know how much, how sustainable it becomes?
Do you see, the thing is, there are some people who have actually made the money out of being disciplined and using government money, right?
And what is the magnitude of those?
That's the problem.
Exactly.
But then that's not only a problem of government. Sometimes it's also the problem of the people.
Yes, that's true.
Because most people, when they get this money from UDB, they think the money is for them to go mfufu. Abaya akafuna milioni 10 nazo kayiwa atano Bashoke batuwe muzima You see, like we have that thing. Like,
yeah, but I also think it's about discipline.
Exactly.
But that also puts, again, for me, I am going to put everything on government today. If a government has a program,
yes,
you're going to give someone 50 million. There should be conditions on how they are going to use that money, as far as it appreciates the reasons for which the government apportioned that resources for the people.
Yeah.
That if, for example, you have an innovation, this is you're investing 50 million, the 50 million should actually go to the innovation than you cruising around in a new Mercedes Benz. Yeah. So you must, the government has to follow up. If the government is going to give, well, the people are to blame for also misusing the money, but the government should also do that should have a system that it holds you, it strictly holds
and it
people
does not
accountable.
feel like I'm being given a token because I support this particular party or because of this,
exactly.
because I know this person.
Exactly. So they are both to blame, the people, because some people get excited and misuse their money, but the government also does not follow up as much as it should to make sure that the money that has been apportioned does exactly what it has been set aside for.
Okay. Rogers, I want us to finish this discussion in a few minutes. I want us to talk about artificial intelligence, AI, the rise of AI in Africa and this generation today. I'm sorry for putting you on the spot. This one says, if you want to know the performance of Uganda economy, from true perspective, host Dr. Fred Muhumuza of EPRC at Makerere University. We shall do that.
Yeah, he's a very knowledgeable person. He's a very good economist.
Yes. Do you remember, hey, by the way, congratulations, Francis Muhire. You know the economist Francis Muhire? He recently got married. He's off, off the radar. Do you remember the pension scam, 162 billion? Then Basajabala 164 billion, then Uganda Railway 49 billion, Lubowa 200 million dollars, $1 billion for Jagali Dam construction. The list is endless.
If you're going to write that one, it will not finish this discussion. That is for sure. We'll be here all day. The scams have been very many. Some have been spearheaded by people in government, others with people who are, like the Basajabala, people who are literally funding the government. And obviously they will be left to go scot-free because they are the people who keeps the government going. They are employing a lot of people. So you find a point of compromise and feel like, look, these people are already doing enough for the country. So, I mean,
that's what the president said, that they are investing here at least.
Exactly.
Right,
exactly.
I want us to talk about the artificial intelligence. Okay, finish up your point. So.
No, but the problem is, I was just saying is that when if they are doing well, we appreciate. Because they are employing a lot of people in the economy and giving people livelihood. But when you do that, you're sort of condoning it, so they are going to do it again, and another person is going to do it, and another person is going to do it. So a lot of money is going to be spent that should actually have helped more people get out of poverty and improve their livelihoods. So it does actually no impact. If this one is employing 100, well and good, thank you very much. But if they are eating money that should be employing 1,000, then they are doing a disservice than they are doing a service.
Exactly, because they at the end of the day are still stealing.
Yeah.
Rogers, I want us to just comment on the artificial intelligence. There's a rise of AI. I think you've heard of Chat GPT.
GPT, yes.
GPT. You've heard of different. Bing has also brought a new artificial intelligence.
Binge.
The one for Binge. You see that.
Binge is trying to compete with Google.
To compete with Google. But Rogers, in a few years from now, where are we going to be? Artificial intelligence can right now reply to your email without you reading it.
Yeah,
you get what I'm saying?
We are going to lose jobs.
They're not yet, people don't, we really don't appreciate, but the thing is, artificial intelligence is doing a lot. Okay, right now people are saying, it's not accurate, it's all over the place, yeah, but if this thing is programmed well, fed with adequate information, resources, and data, will people remain in the, I don't know, will people remain with jobs? Also talk about the robots, because we talk about AI, but the robots are also in place.
That's
now.
AI, that's all AI.
All AI, practically, yes. So Rogers, where are we living Uganda, not Uganda, the world, 100 years from now?
You see, there are two sides to that conversation. One is that when you are using artificial intelligence generally, there's so much efficiency. Because most of those robots are programmed so they rarely make mistakes.
Yes.
Well, they do make mistakes, but they do not commonly do it as human beings do. So, which is to their
There is
advantage.
less room for error.
Exactly. So perfection and efficiency is there. You know, there's some sort of progress. The problem is that if the more you drive out the people in the process, there is no attachment to progress, and people literally, you become useless in the process. You'll find a lot of people, and unemployment is even going to grow, because if you look 50 years ago, when the computer were not that rampant, you would have 5 people doing what a computer can do right now. 5 people were employed. Right now, one computer has taken a space of 5 people or 10, all those jobs.
Yeah.
So the more we are doing artificial intelligence, the more people are going to also be phased out, the more unemployment it's going to be. And the funny thing is the population is going to keep growing.
Exactly, that's the irony. The population is growing, the jobs are becoming less,
Smaller.
the resources are becoming smaller,
Exactly.
and innovation is becoming higher. People are innovating to reduce all the employment rates, and it feels like everybody is just quiet.
I think ordinarily AI would not be a problem. The problem is, like I said when we were beginning, the problem has also been capitalism. People wanting more and more. So people are not making the robots and the AI for purposes of efficiency. They are doing that to minimize on the costs.
Exactly.
They are trying to profit more. Make sure that they pay much less people, but get much more output of work and get much more profits in the
And
process.
as a businessman, Tom Wakanya,
That's the goal.
That's the goal.
That's the goal, yes. So I think what now the problem has been is that people are not really looking at how better are we growing, how better are we having much better products and outputs or standard products. It is about how much can I get out of this. So I don't know if that is something that also, you know, states generally the world can do about. Because if you're saying that it is a free economy, then people would prefer more efficient products.
Exactly.
More error-free chances of getting things done.
Accuracy
Yes,
is
if you're
assured, you know.
Safety is there. If, for example, you have factories, a robot is not going to be hurt. You're not going to feel like someone is not going to
In
die.
China, boys are using robots to assemble the phones.
Exactly that we hold.
Yeah.
So well, we will save people's lives in the machines, but there are more people that are going to even be lost because they will not have jobs and livelihoods and probably will die of hunger.
At the end of the day.
So it
also speaks to the
AI
laziness of
is
humanity these days. We're trying to innovate in everything that will help you. People are innovating things that will help them work at home. People are innovating things that wash their clothes. People are innovating things that wash their dishes. People are innovating things. They want to innovate, I think, even wives. I'm not even sure.
Well, eventually they might.
They have
People
got
have no, leave those. They have there are actually some robots, partners robots.
partner robots.
Partner
yes.
robots, yes. Obviously they cannot give birth, but they give them company. They will have sex with them. They will live literally like husband and wife. They will have it as long as it does what they want it to do. So that is also, so literally there is going to be AI in every single thing. Time is going to come and we'll feel like, we are tired of washing, so we need material that is not washable. So we will also invent that, and people will start putting
We have invented things
that
that
kind of
bring
stuff.
home food to our home, that brings products to our
That
home.
will cook for us.
Literally, we're not doing
So
anything.
I think it is two-way. It is two-way. It is, innovation is good. I think innovation is good because it expands our reach. Now you're seeing people conquering other planets. That is all because of innovation. Nowadays you have cars that drive themselves, so you are not afraid of accidents and all that. So they are good in one way or another. They make life much easier, but they are also not good because they cannot have the human feel. There are no emotions.
They are not
attached.
human-centered at the end of the day.
Yes, there are no emotions attached. If something cannot feel the way you feel,
Yes.
it definitely cannot serve you the best of what you deserve.
Yes.
So because they cannot be you, they cannot stand in your shoes.
At the end of the day, they
Yes.
cannot be human.
Yes, they cannot.
They lack the human
like,
element
yeah.
of things. Mr. Tuyabwe, maybe just I want you to comment on your parting shots. Let's just go and you comment on the sport. Is Manchester United going to win this particular title? I smell a title that is going to be interesting this time round. I think a lot of people, 5 points clear.
A lot of people have been talking
Manchester.
about Man U and Man City.
Manchester is 3 points clear of Man U. Do you think Man U, and there's still many games to go?
Man U has been crawling very slowly.
Yes, I feel
and a lot of people have not even seen it
they're
come.
not noticing it. But I'm telling you,
people have not seen it come.
United
I actually have hope for Man U.
United is stealing this title. For me, I'm sure. I don't know. I have seen, I was privileged because I started watching football as young as early as 2002. I remember my first game was the World Cup of 2002, the one that was won by Brazil in that year. The Dalimas, the Dinos were at the point. That is when the Madrid were having the Zidanes in the Real Madrid. So I started watching them. And I've watched Manchester United evolve and how they have been stealing titles like that. Manchester United is a team, it's just imprinted in their DNA that if they are on top of their game, in terms of when you look at the mentality, in terms of the skill on the pitch, in terms of the luck, and you can see that they are eyeing something, like I feel like they still really, in all teams, they're the ones that really want this so much. And they still have, they're a team that has the character in the Premier League today. Manchester City is a good team, but it does not have the character. I think they are more satisfied. Arsenal is being lucky, but is playing good football. Man United is a team that is good.
I'm actually not afraid of Arsenal.
Me too.
For some reason. It is on top of the table, but I don't feel like Arsenal is putting anyone on pressure.
Nobody is fearing.
I don't think anyone is feeling pressure because of
Arsenal takes that title, it will be that, I feel it will be more of luck.
That is
hard work.
Well, they have probably worked for it.
They have tried, but they're not hard working on the field. When you look at the field, they win games, but they're not really convincing. Like the last game they won against Aston Villa. You can say
they almost lost.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. They almost
lost the game.
On any other day, Aston Villa would win that particular game. It was just by sheer luck and that Emiliano Martinez self-own goal, and everybody is bringing out the photos of Emiliano Martinez still in Arsenal, and they're saying, yeah, this guy, he has won it for Arsenal. So
I think Mani has chances.
Will or can steal this.
I cannot say will. I cannot obviously be certain, but I feel like there are chances that it can actually contend for this. It actually is contending for this title. Arsenal, I do not have so much faith in them.
How about City?
I don't
they
have
have
so much.
Haaland.
City is not bad.
But
have
they
some
feel
chance.
like I feel they're tired.
They settle.
They are tired. Like they've won it. If you win a Premier, Manchester City has won 4 titles in 5 years. So the fact is,
or are they complacent and feeling like
I feel like they are
complacent?
They are complacent. They are complacent, and the other challenge they have is that people have realized their game now. It's no longer like
they no longer need to work hard.
The Manchester City used to come and you'd start trembling when you're in the tunnel. And they're going to possess you and they're going to out-possess you. Right now they possess you, but they don't know how to really recycle play to gain from it. That's what you saw that Nottingham Forest drew with them recently. Newcastle drew with them recently. You can see that Manchester City is not
losing track,
losing.
And that gives the Man U.
That's it, because Man U is the only team that you can say, and you can say because they are convincing in their game.
I want to attribute it to Ten Hag.
Of course, there is nobody else you can. It's not the players. The only player you can say is Marcus, but Marcus is just.
He's good, but he's also good just naturally.
Because of
Ten Hag.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Ten Hag has built the team.
Ten Hag has been, has done so much.
Yeah, he has really. You can see there is managerial discipline at United again.
Yeah. You can see the change from the money that has literally gone down the drain.
Yes.
After Ferguson, you can see that it literally went like this. Yes. Ten Hag is trying to kind of revive it.
There is now a system.
I hope that when they sell the club, it doesn't go back.
I feel it's going to be better.
I hope it is.
Imagine that Carter family buying that club. Because it's Qatar royalty. You see, it's the owners of PSG.
Yeah.
Manchester City.
That's true.
Let me tell you, those boys have money. They're going to invest. And I think, what better team can you invest in than United?
Manning PSG.
Just come at United, invest money in United.
And keep-
that
and
money
keep
that is
quiet.
at City, you bring it at United there. Okay, United has had its money, but we want someone who can exaggerate the investment. A person
Where it is not a problem for
Qatar,
investment is not a
people
problem.
can fact check me. Qatar invested 262 billion in the World Cup. In the World Cup. And not 226 billion.
And that was in like a space of 5 years or something.
That is in this World Cup.
Yeah, this one
This
is
is-
completed. I mean,
Let
in
me
constructing all the stuff.
Not
from
even
there.
the wealthiest man is worth 226 billion, even if it's Elon Musk. These boys have money to just throw away, for lack of a better word. So if you get that money, invest it in United. United will win even the Champions League, I'm telling you. With that kind of money, you want such kind of resources, get the players, get the right coach, get the right mentality, get the right equipment on the club. See if the club does not thrive. That is why Manchester City is winning all these titles. There was investment at the first time.
Yeah, that's right.
But let's wait and see. Premier League is still just making us more happy. Rogers, your parting shots, because we've come to the end of the show.
Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for being with us. My name again is Roger Suryawa, and it has been an opportunity to be here. But the discussion about what I am more pleased with what the Ministry of Finance is doing to try to cut some of the expenditures. Maybe we have come to the realization that we are not paying close attention to how the country is run. So maybe we are waking up, and maybe better will come. So I am very glad with that. The second is I will be praying for United to win this game obviously and to win this trophy. Arsenal, no, I do not lose sleep over Arsenal. That is just straight up. Man City is reasonably good, but they are sort of taking a back seat. They are slowing down, and so I hope that will be an advantage. The rest, have yourselves a very good day.
And you guys, Casemiro told you guys that he's coming to win titles again.
And the guys are
And the guys
working.
doing it. And Norman says, unless we train people about the difference between growth and development, we won't save this country. To some people, heavy traffic jam is development. Many buildings in towns, even when they are not occupied, to such people, it's development. What a shame. Uganda has a high cost of living, but with a low standard of living. Very true. And I need a full show to educate people on such theories and concepts. Edgar Matthew Karhanga. Thank you so much, Mr. Norman, to me himself. We've come to the end of this discussion. Thank you so much. Messages are always here, but it's always a privilege having you guys on the show. Yeah. We shall meet tomorrow. That will be the Woman Crush Wednesday. Farida and Louie, they will be here. On Thursday, we'll be right back here on the Mighty Drive, and we'll be talking about various things that are happening in this country. This is the Mighty Drive Show. My name is Edgar. It happens every Monday to Friday, starting from 8 to 10. We break down having a conversation with Uganda. Please do follow us. Keep sending us those messages. We'll keep reading them subsequently. I was with Rogers today. I have a privilege and always a pleasure having you and your intelligent brain right here on the drive. See you tomorrow, same time, same station. Take Catch will be coming at 11. So please do tune in. Thank you.
The Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.